Swadika and welcome to ASEAN Talk. I'm Cholapansan Rula. Medical tourism has emerged as the fastest growing segment in the tourism industry as of late, despite the economic downturn. High cost and of course treatments in developed countries is actually one of the main reasons that are shunning patients away coming to countries in the ASEAN or the Asian region. To find out more about this today, we have invited a medical tourism expert to share with us the outlook of the business, Professor Dr Zadok S. Lempert, who is President of Medical Services International, Bangkok. Swadika, Doctor.
Sawadee.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure being here.
First question, how significant has the medical tourism business become today?
Well, medical tourism is one of the big and fast growing niches within tourism. Maybe we need to try and elaborate quickly on this, because we need to understand that the economics of tourism is based on supply and demand. And it means that there is a lot of demand for medical treatments or to healthcare. And on the other side, if there is supply in this qualified and specialized services, this is where medical tourism starts creating itself. And it has become very significant lately, the last 10 years or so. It's a multi-million visitors business, and it's a multi-billion dollars business. And of course, everyone would like to have a share in it.
So basically, patients coming in from countries like the United States or Europe, they are looking for places which offer cost-effective alternatives. So is that the main factor, the cost, or is it the treatments and the technology?
Well, it's more complicated, it's more complex, and we need to realize, I think there are 6 or 7 major criteria where medical tourism is moving around. First of all, if I may say, it is the doctor's medical qualifications. Then of course we need to have most of the hospitals who go into investment are in need of leading edge technology, whether it's diagnostics or whether it's surgery and so on. Then of course we need the support of the qualified supporting staff. We're talking about nurses, we are talking about laboratories. It goes wider than that. Then of course we have the comfort and the efficiency of the medical institutes, talking about hospitals or talking about health resorts and so on. Then there is a lot, since we are talking about tourism, there is a lot of other peripheral infrastructures and what we call cultural bridges. Do we have people who speak the language? Do we have the food that the people culturally demand and so on? Then comes the price.
I see.
There is, on top of this and hidden on the side, we still have government regulations, we still have legal regulations and so on. But it is very important that each of these criteria I just mentioned is balanced, completely balanced, in order to satisfy the demand of the people. If one of them falls off, the whole picture collapses. And this is why medical tourism as such is very promising, but is also very complex to implement.
I see. Now, so those are the reasons people are looking for and have found in Asia, in the ASEAN region.
Okay.
A lot of countries here are known to have good infrastructure and all the components that you mentioned.
Yes.
So would you agree to that, being a medical tourism expert?
Well, what I told you before is the so-called fundamental criteria. Now, the reason why people start moving, the so-called demand side, is in their country of origin, costs are exploding, waiting lists and waiting times are horrendous. People have to wait for surgery or to be treated by experts sometimes any time from 3 to 12 months, and it is just too long. And then of course comes the balancing again, which is the price or the feasibility of doing it. And people look into this because they would like to be treated soon, they would like to be treated very qualified, and of course they would like to save as much as they can. These are the market or the economic factors of this.
I see. And the patients are coming from the United States, Europe. Is that the two main parts of the world, or from everywhere?
No. We need medical tourism is available, or let's say the infrastructure for medical tourism is available everywhere around the globe today. We just need, again here, from the research point of view, we need to differentiate between the provider countries and the resource countries.
Okay.
Whereas resource countries are the people where the patients come from. The providers countries are those countries who would like to become part of receiving the visitors. Okay? And if we talk like this, we have in the Americas and so on, the Americans will probably, or most probably, go to Central America and Caribbean. Asia is a little bit too far away. Then we are having still the very traditional Eastern European countries where the Europeans will probably go for their treatments. And then in the Middle East there is a group of countries forming up, which includes United Arab Emirates, which is investing a lot of money in the future. Turkey is coming up very strongly. Jordan is having a very big part of the Arab-speaking world. And then, of course, we have Israel, which is leading technologically and scientifically. And then we have Asia. And within Asia, we have several countries who would like to be part or would like to be co-cooking in the medical tourism kitchen.
So everybody wants to be the hub, the center.
Well, it is about a lot of money. And you see, when we talk about ministries of tourism and all kind of authorities, they actually look at numbers. They don't look so much at quality, and they would like to have their markets grow. Everyone is looking at about expanding markets and so on. In principle, medical tourism today is providing this kind of growth. It is a double-digit growth factor wherever you go. Because people would like to have treatments or would like to improve their health. And once we talk about this, I will tell you who in Asia is joining this as well.
Now, let me ask you this first.
Yes.
The market is everywhere around the world. So what do you think is the main factor, making a patient, a medical tourist, decide where to go to? Is that the location? Is that the key?
It is a combination again, as I told you before. It has to be balanced. It is a location, it is the quality, it is the price. And of course, since we are talking about tourism, it's also combining the leisure factor now, because mostly medical tourists or healthcare travelers will not travel alone. And they will have families accompanying, and they do have in the back of their mind, they also have a little bit of leisure expectations, and this will also become a factor when they realize. But in principle, it is the distance, it is the speed of being accepted or referred, and it is of course the price.
Now, when you think of treatments for the many diseases and you link it to tourism, I wonder, how is a medical tourist treated by the hospitals? What is arranged by the hospitals?
Good. I would say I am not so familiar with the situation in the Americas. I believe that the difference between the treatments for local population and visiting patients in the Americas would be less drastic than we have in Asia. In Asia, we really differentiate between people who go to hospitals and they are local and they receive good treatment, but in price levels which are much less than the medical tourism or the medical visitors. And for this, we have this special class or the special floors in hospitals who decided to specialize and invest, and we call them the international. And of course, they are in revenues much higher or bringing more financial means. But I would dare say that the quality of the treatment at the end of the line is the same for everyone. But, as I said, people who come from other countries usually bank on the exchange rates. This is a big factor in economy. And if we talk about maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, before we went into economic recessions, the euro and the dollar and the United Kingdom pound.
Professor, is the exchange rate another deciding factor?
The exchange rate is economically a very deciding factor because people would like to save on money. See, this is the reason why they are deciding to go and choose another country, not only because of the waiting lists, also because of what they can save. For Thailand especially, the exchange rates about 2 years ago, before we went into economic recessions and so on, we received much more for the euro or for the dollars or for the United Kingdom pounds in Thailand than we are receiving now. See, the euro lost almost 20% of its strength the last, let's say, 4 or 5 months, even though we thought we are getting out of recession. People in Europe today will consider twice what they get for their money. So value for money is an important factor. If it is about urgency, probably people will be able or will be ready to pay more or receive less for the exchange currencies. But in normal tourism considerations, it is the value for money beside the other criteria I told you.
I see. Now let's take a look at the major medical destinations in Asia.
All right.
Which countries are considered as leaders?
At the moment, there is one thing about leaders and there is another thing about who wants to join. Now, wanting to join, I will try to do it in the order of importance, all right? But I do not insist on correctness for everyone who looks to. But in principle, we are having Thailand as leading at the moment, followed by Malaysia, by Singapore, by India, by Philippines, South Korea, and China.
I see.
Now, these are the governments, or these are the destinations which are really and very seriously looking into getting into this. Now, if we talk in numbers, we don't have total numbers, and many countries or many authorities at the moment are very cautious with releasing statistics and so on.
Why is that?
Probably because their numbers are rather low. They prefer to talk in percentage, which statistically comes up better. See, we talk in Thailand about something like 1.3 million medical visitors, which is approximately about 10% of the total visitors to Thailand in tourism generally. 13,
14 million.
Well,
every year as expected.
See, we have to be realistic with the situation right now in Thailand. I don't know if we are going to talk about this later in this program, but politically and economically, Thailand at the moment is rather on the losing side, because people are very cautious about coming here. Tourism situation, I'm sorry if I'm here to support the tourism in the destination, but at the moment tourism here is on the decline because of all these travel warnings and so on. But still, Thailand is the leader. There is no doubt about this, and they are going to keep the position.
I see.
They are followed by Malaysia, whereas Malaysia has released numbers lately. In 2008, Malaysia had some 374,000 visitors who generated about 300 million ringgit or Malaysian dollars revenues, whereas in 2010, this year, Malaysia is expecting to have 30% more, and this will bring them up to 400 million.
Now Malaysia is up and coming as well, so is many other countries. But
well, they are. The surprise is that the country which will have the fastest and biggest growth will be India.
Okay, that's interesting indeed, and China as well. But we'll have to take a short commercial break right now. When ASEAN Talk returns, we'll find out about those emerging markets, new players in the industry. Stay with us.